Hello guys, it's JohnnyTime and welcome to another amazing Web3 security interview. Today we have a guest that probably you already know, but you don't know that you know him. Please give a warm welcome to Taz, known by the name or by the YouTube famous channel Smart Contract Programmer. We are going to find out who is the person behind the famous YouTube channel Smart Contract Programmer. We're gonna learn about his background, about the story behind the YouTube channel, and about his work experience as smart contract developer. It's gonna be super fascinating. So without further ado, let's get started. So hello Taz, how are you? Glad to have you here on the show.
Hey, hello.
Okay, so for the people who don't know you, I don't believe there are many people here that don't know you, but for the people who don't know you, can you please tell us a bit about yourself, about what you do, about your background?
Sure. I am known as Smart Contract Programmer, and I make YouTube videos about smart contract programming, mostly on Solidity and Viper and DeFi stuff.
Yeah, so Smart Contract Programmer, you probably know already his channel. He has a lot of videos, a lot of subscribers about DeFi, about Solidity, Viber, Smart Contract Programming, and it's one of the most famous channels out there. And I was surprised to see that Taz, the guy behind this channel, is so knowledgeable, but at the same time is so humble, and you will see it here in the interview. But before we dive into the YouTube channel and your work as smart contract programmer, can you give us a short background about how you got into programming in general and how your journey looks like?
So university, I took math, study math, and my first time taking a programming course was in C programming. I thought it was fun, but I didn't think it was for me. I didn't like just staring at the computer all day long. So didn't really take an interest. And then I graduated university, then did some traveling, and then came back to Japan. And then I started out as a construction worker. Didn't know what I wanted to do. So I did construction work in Tokyo. And then about 3 months in, I decided to work in mountain cabin. And then that's where I picked up programming. I started learning PHP. And afterwards, I got my first programming job as a PHP web developer. So after became a PHP developer, I've been a programmer for about 10 years now. So after PHP programming, went to Australia, did some web dev, and then came back to Japan. Actually, between Australia and Japan, that's where I picked up blockchain programming. I started out with Bitcoin and then got into Lightning Network. Then I started to looking for a job in blockchain programming. At that time, there was one job interview for Solidity. So I applied and they said yes. So that's when I first picked up Solidity. I didn't get the job, but that's where I first got learning experience in Solidity. And ever since then, I've been learning Ethereum Solidity programming. Okay, so anyways,
Wow.
About 5 years ago, I think, I got a blockchain programming job in Japan. And then it only lasted less than 1 year. And then that's when I started freelancing and started my YouTube channel for Smart Contract Programmer.
Very interesting. So you basically started from construction worker to mountain cabin, and then you decided to jump into programming. I guess you had a bit bad experience with C because maybe it's a bit hardcore to begin with in your university, right? And the change from a C to PHP to something more tangible. C, you write programs, but with PHP, you create websites and stuff. I think it's a bit more exciting for me at least, and you remind me a bit my journey because I also started as a web developer, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. We learned in school Java, but actually learned myself PHP not through books, but not through forums. Through forums in the internet, I created websites, and it was much easier for me to create websites with PHP rather than Java or other technologies. So you remind me a bit my starting point. It's very cool. And then you said that you got into Bitcoins and started exploring like Lightning Network. Did you also invest in Bitcoin or did some mining, or are you just more interested about the technology and the programming?
So I first got really interested in. I heard about Bitcoin when I started programming in PHP. It was on the news, but I wasn't really interested in it. First time I got interested in it was when I heard a video on YouTube, talk by Andreas Antonopoulos, and he really got excited. He got me excited about Bitcoin.
Man, we're the same. I also watched him so much. Sorry for interrupting, but I mean, we had the same journey. I love this guy. He has such good speaks. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Bought his book, read his book, got more interested in Bitcoin. And at that time, I think I was around 28 or 29, and I wanted to go do a working holiday in Australia and try to get a programming job eventually. So I had some savings. I said, why not just, instead of doing a bank transfer to Australia, why not just buy Bitcoin and then take it with me? So that's when I first bought Bitcoin and then just took it with me. Yeah. And so that was the first time I bought Bitcoin.
Wow, very interesting. Very like you already found a use case back then when it was just the beginning. And how you were sure that this Bitcoin will be respected in Australia? Did you research some like exchanges or like people that will be able to give you cash for this Bitcoin?
Well, I just took it as an emergency fund. So it was like, in case something goes wrong, I will sell my Bitcoin and then get some cash back. I didn't do much research, but if there's a crypto exchange in Japan, well, there was a crypto exchange in Japan. There should be one. I figured there's some way to get cash from Bitcoin.
Yeah, makes sense. So in every country, actually, where I go, there is somewhere exchange, Telegram group. There are always people that are interesting to do like peer-to-peer deals with crypto. And there are also official exchanges that, they have a license and you can go buy or sell crypto to cash, which is cool. Interesting. So, and then you got into Solidity because it was like a need, right? Because you had an interview. You had a job interview and you had to learn Solidity for this job interview. Do you remember like what year was it?
I can check my resume and tell you that. I think it was between 2017 and 2018.
I remember looking at Solidity back then and actually this is when I just figured out about Ethereum and I bought some Ethereum. And I was like, it was very hard for me to grasp what is Ethereum, especially I knew what is Bitcoin, but Ethereum like bring another layer of complexity because instead of just blockchain and transactions, there is operating system, EVM and smart contracts. It was a bit like mind blowing for me. And it took a while to understand it. So for you, did you feel the same experience back then, especially where there were no like much resources, or it was easier a bit for you?
It was definitely difficult for me for something to really click. But I did enjoy like the how easy it was to program a application and then just deploy it onto a chain. Like before that, I was playing around.
Was it easy back then?
Remix, and then there was Truffle.
Truffle, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the most difficult thing to do, but like compared to Lightning Network was more complex. You had to, if you wanted to do something, then you have to build your own software that interacts with Bitcoin. Whereas Ethereum, if you wanted to build some kind of application, you just write a contract. So I thought that was really fun to do.
For me, it was a bit complex because it was a bit like change of mindset. from traditional programming. Just I think for every people that is starting with Solidity, I used to write Python and like PHP like you. And I'm used to run scripts and programs that run in the background. It could be a cron job. It could be just on demand, click enter and run a script or a code or a program or a web server that is running, and shifting the idea from like a server that is running an application to a blockchain smart contract that is being executed based on transaction. For me, it was a bit like challenging and a mind shift. But once you get it, once it clicks, it gets easier. And also, I remember that the tooling back then was very hard. Truffle, the error messages that you got, there was this Web3 libraries. You didn't even have ethers back then. So to write also the front end or to write tests was a bit challenging. I remember the struggling parts back then. And now these days it's much easier with Hardhat and Foundry and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So can you tell us a bit about your first job? So you said at the first interview you didn't get a job, but then you did another interview and you got a job, or you started with freelancing?
First blockchain job, yes, I got the interview. And then I went to like the final stage of like test trial. And I think looking back, the test that they gave me was something that's not difficult to do. Well, back then I didn't really understand like Solidity and stuff. So I didn't, at that like trial period, I wasn't able to finalize the job position.
Okay, so this was your first attempt. Obviously, you didn't know Solidity much, right? You learned for the interviews, so you were like very beginner, I guess. Yes. Do you remember what resources did you learn from? Because there wasn't smart contract programmer channel back then.
I watched. There was another guy that was that recorded basic Solidity using Remix, so I watched all of his videos. And yeah, I think that maybe Crypto Zombie. I'm not sure if it still existed or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure too. I revisited Crypto Zombies in 2020, but I'm not sure if it existed when I started learning Solidity the first time in 2017-18. Interesting. And then after you got rejected in this job interview, you decided to become a freelancer, or you tried to pursue other opportunities, other jobs?
And then I started looking for another job. And then I was in Singapore and just traveling. And a recruiter in Singapore said, I got a job for you in Japan. So that's how I got my first blockchain job in Japan.
And what was it about? Can you tell us a bit about it? Like, what did you do? What technologies you worked with? What you worked on?
Yeah. We tried to sort of make a ERC-20 with solar energies. So in Japan, they have solar power plants. And then if you build a solar power plant, you can sell the electricity to the Japanese government. So you have a solar plant, it's producing energy. Japanese government or the Japanese power companies will buy electricity from you, from that solar plant. And what we were thinking was we can tokenize these investments. So you would buy like a token, and that would give you like a share or ownership of the solar panel. Since the solar panel, the power produced is bought from the Japanese government, there's some kind of value to this token. So that's what we tried to do. But then there was a lot of regulations, and so the startup never took off. So I was there programming Solidity and some web dev stuff for about 7 to 9 months.
Wow, it's actually a good idea. And it's interesting. I hear a lot of good ideas that are dying because of regulation. So the regulation is died in Japan regarding Web3 and blockchain. Is it like hard to create projects?
Yes, definitely. And then I think you also need to get permission for like crypto exchange license or something, which is, I heard that it's really difficult to get.
Wow. And which technologies did you use back then? So you used probably Solidity, Truffle, and for the front end, what kind of technologies did you use? React?
React, Node.js servers.
And when did the YouTube start? Did the YouTube thing started? The YouTube channel, Smart Contract Programmer. Can you tell us? It was like during the job, after the job, before?
After this job, after this startup closed, I was forced into freelancing, and I felt like I needed some way to market myself. So I just started teaching Solidity and whatever stuff that I knew on YouTube.
That's cool. So it's actually very useful to market yourself, to create like valuable content. This is one of the reasons that I also started my YouTube channel. There are a lot of other advantages that I see for that. Probably you see the same advantages. For me, one is when I teach something, I understand it better. That this is one. Another one is that it pushes me to explore new topics and to learn more, because I want to create a video around it. So I want to explore it further. And also, like you said, it creates name for yourself. You create some kind of brand. Everyone knows who is Smart Contract Programmer. A lot of people know who is JohnnyTime. So it helps to create this brand around you. And then you can leverage this brand to get a job, to get freelance jobs, to create products like courses, like your product that you have, to learn smart contract development. So it's just pluses. That's why I advocate anyone to start creating content. It could be video in video form, articles, tweets, whatever, whatever you're good at.
Right.
I really like public speaking and teaching. I do it for many years. So for me, it was the obvious thing to do. And funny thing, my YouTube channel started as DeFi education. I didn't get into smart contract security only later, but in 2020, I got really into DeFi, and I wanted to explain people how different protocols work, how to use different DeFi dApps, what happens behind the scenes in the smart contract when you approve a contract, when you stake tokens. So this was the idea behind my channel initially. And obviously, when DeFi became a bit boring and a lot of things happen in DeFi, I shifted my focus towards smart contract security and cybersecurity in blockchain. So it's interesting. So you started your YouTube channel to create name for yourself, but you also resonate with those like other pluses that I mentioned, or this was like solely to create a brand for yourself and get a job maybe?
Well, it was like I thought it was a win-win situation. I make a video, I learn something, I get some kind of like I'm marketing myself, and then on the audience side, audience are able to learn Solidity quicker than what it took me to learn it, and I also teach about all the pitfalls and some security things that took me many hours to learn, but I was able to condense them into like 5-minute, 10-minute videos. And it was also fun to share knowledge and share experience on YouTube. So it's like a win-win-win
100%
situation.
Agree. Yeah, everyone wins. Everyone wins. And really, your YouTube videos are so useful for me. Also, when I just started with Solidity, I kind of restarted. I started in 2018, but didn't really got into it like in a deep way. I didn't really explore it further. But in 2020, 2021, when I got back to Solidity, your YouTube channel was amazing. I learned so much for it. And I'm sure that many of the listeners, because your videos are so precise, to the point, 5-10 minutes videos where you can really, and your explanations are very clear, and you have a very pleasant voice. But yeah, I think it's too much for one sentence, like all the compliments that I give you on your channel. But it's really from the bottom of my heart. I really enjoy your channel a lot before even I started my own channel. And how did your like content creation or video creation process improve? Because for me, I can say that my first videos are pretty shitty. If you go to my channel and check my oldest videos, the sound quality, the way I speak, everything is very, very shitty. Did you feel something like this? Like, did you, as a content creator, as a YouTuber, did you improve your content?
Yeah, definitely. First video, I thought it was an easy topic. I turned on the mic and my brain just goes blank. I don't know what to say. And so like it took me like 1 hour to make a 2 minute video. I would do a lot of like retakes, and but I knew that over time that would get better. So I just have to make like 100 terrible videos for me to be able to make maybe a decent video. So I just kept pushing
That's
on.
what Mr. Beast says. I don't know if you know Mr. Beast is like one of the most famous YouTuber. He said, your first 100 videos is going to be shitty, but you have to go through this shitty phase in order to get better and to become a good content creator. And it's so true. And funny activity for everyone who's watching this video, I really recommend you to go to both our channels, JohnnyTime and Programmer, and you can saw the videos from the oldest, just for fun. Watch our first video, look how shitty it is. I can talk to myself, I didn't watch yours, and it will give you motivation that anyone can do it, because you always,
definitely.
like when you start something new, it's like hard, and the results are not perfect, and you get an improvement time. Just compare the first video to the most recent one, you will see a huge difference.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to watch my first one, so I never watched the old ones. So yeah, just keep pushing
embarrassing
through.
And funny.
That's one advice. Another advice is maybe not worry too much about the quality. Quality is something that comes just over time. And the other thing that I noticed is that in the beginning, I would try to make the videos as short as possible. So when I'm editing the videos, I would try to take out all of the silence, the empty gaps between words, right? You say a sentence, you think about something, you say another one. So in the beginning, I would just take out those gaps. But now I notice that when I don't do that, the video is easier to understand.
So now you leave the gaps. You used to cut
when you
them,
try
and now
to
you
leave
leave
like
them?
I try to leave like a natural pause where like the audience has some time to digest what I just said. So like for
super interesting, because I recently started cutting all those silent moments, but now that you said it, I might go back to not cutting them. It's very interesting. Okay, go on.
So like when I'm editing the videos, I stopped looking at the audio graphs. I would just use my ears, just play it through. And if the pause seems natural, I would just let it go, keep on playing. But if the pause is maybe a little bit too long, then I would go to the editing section to maybe trim out a little bit of the pause.
Good take, because I always stream everything, every silent moment, and then the video is like fast, like ta 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 ta. And this is actually how successful videos in YouTube, if you're watching YouTube for a while, you see the videos that are successful, they are in a very high pace. Also, Mr. Beast, all these videos are like ta 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 ta. But in our videos, I guess it's a bit more technical. It's a different niche. It's like people need to process. It's not like entertainment, like explosions, people screaming, people playing games. No, it's like you read code, you write code, you understand like complex protocols, and it's different kind of videos. I don't know if it's an excuse that I'm making for myself or it's actually is. So it's kind of different type of videos that requires different editing, I guess, and different... Because I was trying to get better, I always try to make the videos more engaging, more interesting, and I try to get inspirations from the best, but we always need to remember that it's different. So what else did you learn through making this YouTube channel? Did you learn things about content creation, about being a YouTuber, about like smart contract programming? Like what did it help you?
What did I learn? Well, I learned some of the topics that the viewers want me to cover. So I guess you get a feel for the trend in the market. And I also learned that I'm guessing that the number of subscribers per month is correlated to the price of Bitcoin. So that's what I'm guessing. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Definitely. In a bull market, obviously, you will have more views, more subscribers, because there is more interest in blockchain in general. We also saw these metrics in many other places, both interest in DeFi and crypto, and also in blockchain development decreases in a bear market. A lot of developers leave, they go back to traditional IT jobs like DevOps, like web app programming and stuff. And there is a chart, I think, of developers, and we saw a decrease in Ethereum developers in the last few months. But it is what it is, It's obviously it makes sense. Can you share a bit about the behind the scenes of like producing a video? How it looks like on your end? How much time do you prepare for videos? Like, how do you make sure there are no mistakes, or maybe there are mistakes and you trim them out? Like, how does it look behind the scenes?
Sure. The first is the ideas come from what I do during the day. So this might be work or something that I'm interested in. I just keep learning until I feel I feel like I know enough to be able to share it on YouTube. And then so I don't know. I think that I call that like the research phase. And this research phase can take anywhere from maybe like 3 hours to maybe like a month. And then once I learn something,
on the topic.
I will make the videos. Yeah, it depends on the topic. For example, I recently made a video about how to use Forge Inspect. That only maybe took me about like 30 minutes. And then the video idea came right away. So, and then making the video shooting the video took me 30 minutes, editing maybe 30 minutes, and then rest of YouTube, Twitter stuff, another 30 minutes. And then
what
there's
about
something more.
You do everything yourself, or you have like a team or someone who helps you, like everything yourself, right? Thumbnail, description, editing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly just copying and pasting what I have so far.
Okay.
And then for the Uniswap B3 code, it took me about, I say, half a year to really understand the code base and make contents for it.
So yeah, the Uniswap one is more complex, especially V3, and your videos are very interesting about how it works, the fee structure, and the concentrated liquidity. So I highly recommend anyone who is watching this video now, if they really want to explore Uniswap V3 and concentrated liquidity in depth, definitely check out the recent videos that were published in the Smart Contract Programmer channel. Super useful. And also it will help you understand other protocols as well. Like, for instance, KyberSwap, the one that just got exploited. Did you hear about the recent exploitation of KyberSwap?
Yeah, something about numbers, right? Math and numbers.
Yeah, I didn't get into the vulnerability in details, in technical details, to be honest, but I heard that it's super complex. And the thing about KyberSwap is that it went through...
I read a tweet, and I think it was something about the tick math. If you put in the right numbers, it can not be precise as Uniswap B3. So they were able to double their liquidity without adding liquidity.
In terms of like the tick calculation, like the boundaries of the tick, or like...
Yeah.
Wow.
So when you do a swap, the Uniswap ticks are more precise, but maybe KyberSwap, if you put in a certain number, you can be, there's like an error and you can go out of the range without updating the liquidity or something.
Super interesting and super complex vulnerability. That's what I heard, at least. But in order to even understand this vulnerability, you need to have a background in concentrated liquidity and ticks and all of that. So definitely check out the videos that Taz is posting on his channel. They're very useful to understand that. And the funny or sad thing, I don't know, about KyberSwap, it's a protocol that went through multiple audits. It had a bug bounty program in Immunify. We have also 100 Proof, who found $1 million bounty bug in KyberSwap that were patched. So it's like a project that took security seriously. It's not that like a project that it has a huge TVL, I think hundreds of millions, or I don't know. I think it was more than 100 millions. And it's insane and sad that even though all the security measures that they took in place, there were still super complex vulnerability that killed the protocol, literally. I don't know if you followed up with all the all the conversations between the attacker to the team. He literally wants to take over the company. He doesn't want only money. He doesn't want a bounty. He literally wants everyone to resign and to control the company. This is insane. Like, it's like you will come to a bank, you will rob it, and you will say, not only that I don't want money out of my robbery job, I want to be the owner of the bank. I want all of you to go out and I want to control everything. It's insane. It's criminal. And I hope someone will find this guy and arrest him, because this is not okay. I mean, what do you think about this case, by the way? And about those hacks in general? What's your take?
I don't know much about the drama. I'll just wait for a YouTube video to come out. I do have some thoughts about contests and bug bounties not being able to catch these kind of hacks. So I tried a couple contests. Also tried several bounties on Immunify. I think the problem with them is that we're all time constrained. So like a contest, it lasts for like 7 days. And for bug bounties, I think these like really subtle ones, you gotta invest a lot of time and you're not even sure if you're gonna find a bug or not. So most people would rather say, I'll get a day job, and then maybe on a weekend, I'll spend a couple hours, try to see if I'm lucky, I'll find a bug. Whereas these maybe hackers, maybe they're like maybe these are like students who have like a lot of time and they're like, I don't want to do studying. Maybe I'll just look into codes.
Yeah, it would be interesting to really see. But I think there are people who are taking bug bounty seriously and are doing it a full-time job, you know? Because if you look at a leaderboard, there are people who found multiple bugs and made like millions of dollars. I know at least that 100 Proof, the guy who found the $1 million, is like very focused on bug hunting. He's part of Trust team, Trust 90. And I know that he's like working closely with bug bounties. And I'm sure there are more people like that. But yeah, maybe those black hats, they could be students. They could be like, maybe it's even criminal groups, you know? In traditional cybersecurity, you have literally mafias. You have criminal groups. You have hacker groups. Like in North Korea, you have hacker groups. In other countries, in Russia, you have a lot of hacker groups. And also in Europe and America. But it's like literally organized teams that they have goals, they have targets where they're trying to hack websites, credit cards, bank accounts. So I believe if it doesn't exist already, it will come up in the future, you know, because obviously they know we have Lazarus Group. So there are many targeting. I talked with Peter. Peter is the 0x team lead in Coinbase, and he's doing a lot of research about the identity of the hackers, the black hat hackers. So what he said is that you have these traditional cybersecurity criminals that are coming towards Web3 security, but they are mainly targeting Web2 infrastructure. So they are more like hacking servers and stealing private keys, or doing all those kinds of phishing attacks to steal private keys. But the ones who are actually finding vulnerabilities in DeFi protocols, they are like the guys that you say, it's kids, it's students, it's like, you know, kids from the basement, which is interesting. But I hope that we get better and we catch all those ones with bad intentions that, you know, that they think that they can hack a protocol and code is low, but no, they actually steal money from people. You know, it's people that invested money into these protocols. It's like you will deposit money to your bank and someone will steal it from you. It's not okay.
I also think that it will be really nice for developers to have better testing tools. So I don't know, instead of just like unit test, Foundry does really well with fuzzings, and maybe we need like another tool that does I don't know, what do you call it, static analysis. Yes. So like static analysis, or I forgot the name. So something that like Sartora does. It can prove that
formal verification, right?
Yeah, formal verification. That's the word. Yeah. So maybe we need better tools that's easier to make formal verification part of our tests.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And tooling are getting better and better in terms of testing. Like, we used to have Echidna, but now we also have Foundry fast testing. And I also know that they are very active in improving it, which is cool. We have static analyzers, we have Certora and formal verification. But what I learned from my conversation with Milo Truck, which is one of the top contestants in Code Arena, that fast testing and formal verification, they usually take a lot of time because it's not an easy job. It's not something that you do in like few hours, but you need sometimes week and sometimes month, depends on the complexity and the size of the protocol and the code base. So usually in audit contents, when it's like time limited, you don't have really much time to create a lot of fast testing and do formal verification. It might work more in like private audits or like when you're more flexible with your time. And also not many people know how to do them. So education around these things and better tooling would be very good for the ecosystem, in my opinion. And I believe that we will see more tutorials, more better tools in the future. So did it actually work? Did like the YouTube channel, when you started like posting videos, did you actually get offers for freelance jobs?
Well, I put it on my resume and that did get a lot of attention. I think I did differentiate from other competitors by having YouTube channels. It worked. It worked for when I got my job in Singapore. And then I do get like small. During the bull market, I got a lot of job offers and also a lot of audit requests.
So you got like full-time job offers, so it was like kind of like task-based freelancing jobs?
Both.
And which ones did you accept? Which ones you didn't? Did you do like some freelancing work? Like, I don't know, probably it mostly was like deploy a token or something like this, I guess. Like
most of them were like weekend freelance work, so I did it for them. Full-time job offers, I already had a full-time job, so I just told him that I wasn't looking for a new position at that moment.
It actually works, but yeah, now obviously it's more like of a bear market, so all the interest and there is like less bear market together with recession, together with inflation, together with all the party, and obviously the demand for developers is like decreasing. But it's interesting to see that once there is a bull market and there is like a tension around crypto, your YouTube channel played a big role in your offers that you got. So because obviously it made you stand out of all the other people that are applying to this or that job. It expose you to people are getting exposed to you and they say, oh, this guy know what is he talking about, maybe he can help us, maybe he can be a developer, do audits. So again, I truly advocate people to go out there and start create valuable content that helps people, because you're not only helping people but also you help yourself, which is cool to see that it works for you, and it also worked for me. Can you tell a bit about these kind of jobs that you made? Like, what was it? Like the freelance job? Was it like creating smart contracts, deploying tokens? Do you remember?
Creating a smart contract, NFT staking contracts, besting token contracts. That's one that I remember. I also remember doing an audit, a quick audit for a small amount of money.
Nice, interesting.
Oh, and then there's also offer of sponsored videos, but I turned down all of them down.
What kind of offers did you get? Would you mind sharing?
I don't really remember because I just tell them no. I don't make sponsored videos.
Really? Because they're like scammy vibe? It's like scam projects that want to get like users, or because you just out of principle don't make sponsored videos?
It's probably just my character. I don't really know how to do sales. So if the product is good and if I use it, then I will just make a video even if it's not sponsored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
If you say, hey, we're sponsoring you, can you make a video of this? It's Yeah, I'm just not a good salesperson, so I don't think I'll be able to make a video. Maybe. I'm not sure. There is also the motivation side of uh when it's fun to make the video, then uh it's easy to make a fun video. But when you're getting paid to do something, sometimes the motivation can be off, and sometimes I find it difficult to be creative.
So for you, it's more important that the video creation process will be fun and creative rather than will bring income. The income will come from other sources, like from products, from opportunities.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. And then you got another full-time job as a developer. Can you tell us a bit about this second job that you got?
Yeah. So I got a remote job in Singapore in 2020. I think that was the beginning of DeFi summer. And then I worked with mainly worked with Solidity, writing smart contract bots, smart contract backend, internal user interface, and smart contracts. And I made contracts that are like bots and bots that will invest money into DeFi protocols to give users some kind of yields.
Very nice. So it's some kind of trading strategy or investing in DeFi and staking, I guess. And was it for external use or it was like tools for internal use of the company to generate income and yield?
The smart contract was for public users, retail. And then the bots in the backend and the user interface was for internal stuff like toolings.
Nice. And it was, what kind of strategies did you implement? Like arbitrage, like lending protocols? What did you interact with?
Simple things like put user money in Curve and then do the yield farming of CRBs. That's one. Put USDC into Compound and then do a leverage to leverage farm comp tokens. Those kind of stuff.
Nice. Cool. So I remember I did something similar back then in 2021. I had a strategy where I can generate around 10% a month APR on stablecoins, but it was a bit complex because what I did is that I will share the strategy. It's interesting. So what I did is that I have stablecoins. Then I go to a lending protocol. I deposit these stablecoins and then borrow native tokens. So if it's on Binance Chain, it's BNB. If it's on Phantom, it's FTM. And then with these native tokens, usually the native coin of the blockchain had very nice liquidity mining programs. So you could just add liquidity and stake this token and generate higher yield. So I just used to deposit a stable coin into an Iron Bank or some kind of lending compound fork in Phantom. Then borrow Phantom. Then there was another project called Tomb. I don't know if you're familiar with it or anyone know this project, which is like pegged to one Phantom. And you could add liquidity of Tomb Phantom and generate like 100% a year. So I wrote, it's a lot, like it's very Ponzi, and the mechanism of how Tomb is being pegged to Phantom is also a bit fishy because it's not really collateralized. It's just with market forces. And I wrote a bot that every once in a while harvests the T-shares. This is the yield token that you get, sells it, then to stablecoins, deposit more stablecoin, borrow more Phantom, add more liquidity, kind of like beefy finance, but I just created a bot for myself and I ran it and it was cool until Tomb broke and the peg just lost to Phantom. But lucky me, I was able to release the funds before and send them. And I saw how many risks there are in DeFi. So if you have these kind of strategies, they look very lucrative. And oh, wow, I make 10% a month on stablecoins. But there is this hidden risk that Tomb will be depegged. There are other risks because I don't know if you remember the multi-chain hack. The wallet in Phantom got hacked. And then all the tokens in Phantom just lost their value. So USDC, instead of $1, it's worth now 20. I don't know now, but back then it's 20 cents or 30 cents. So if you just hold stablecoins on Phantom, they would lose 70% of their value. Why? Because the bridge wallet got hacked. So there are so many hidden risks in DeFi that made me more skeptical. The hacks could happen everywhere, deep bag, financial risk, so every time I look at I still do DeFi, but every time I look at an opportunity, I try to map all the risks and make sure that I'm aware of them, right? And the yield worth it. So this is just my experience with yield optimization and DeFi, and it's cool that you had something similar, but you did it for a company. I remember back then in 2020 and 2021, people said that Solidity devs are earning $500,000 or $1 million. Have you ever heard of something like that, or it was just fairy tales?
Yeah, I got an offer for like $500,000 as well, but at that time I was working full time, so I said I cannot take this offer.
Why? But if you get a better offer, why wouldn't you take it? It's totally okay, by the way.
I didn't feel like that company was gonna last a long time. The company that offered.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good reason. So, wow, you actually got an offer of $500,000 a year as a smart contract developer. This is insane. Wow. Which is pretty. Yeah. So it wasn't fairy tales. I wasn't a smart contract developer back then, but I heard about those salaries, and now we have like someone who actually experienced it and can tell us that it's actually
from
true.
the guy from some of the devs at SushiSwap were getting paid those kind of amounts too, right? And also people, the devs from Yearn Finance were also getting paid like $100K per month or something.
$100K per month. Do you think those numbers will come back?
Yeah.
They still exist, or they will come back, or?
I don't think so. I think 100K will be maybe top security engineers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we already know some security engineers that make 100K. One of them is Pashov, but he has his own brand and own business. It's not like as part of salary. He has his own clients, and he reached a few months ago 100K, which is super impressive in a bear market. Kind of, I don't know if to call it bear market, but it's kind of the interest around crypto is not exploding yet, which is probably going to happen next year. Where it feels like we're just in the beginning of the next bull market. Interesting. I'm wondering, I think those salaries will come back. I don't think that now there are people that are like full-time developers or engineers that are earning those kind of salaries. The people who make it are mostly freelancers, bug hunters, and stuff like that. But I think when the euphoria will come back and the money will start floating into crypto, and we have the ETF coming and more hedge funds, and people will feel more confident of putting their money in crypto, you will see more and more investments, more funded companies that will want to ship products fast, and the competition around good developers and good security engineers will come back. And I believe that we might see those salaries again, but we'll see. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, it would be nice to see those salaries again.
So meanwhile, working for the Singaporean company, would you still generate content and create content around DeFi and development, smart contract development?
Yeah, I would. I'm planning, right now I'm learning MakerDAOs, and I'm almost there. So I'll definitely make some videos about it after I learn everything about it.
Looking forward for these videos. I know a bit of how Maker works, but it would be interesting to dive into more in depth. So again, I'm going to say it again because it's super important. Everyone who wants to learn DeFi protocols or want to start with smart contract development, check out the Smart Contract Programmer channel. He has videos about Uniswap, Curve, Aave. What else? What did I miss? Compound also?
Compound, but those are like old videos, so I don't know if they're still relevant.
Older versions.
Curve is. Yeah, I don't know about Compound and Aave. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And obviously Maker and DAO coming videos, and also about Foundry, Hardart. So definitely check out super useful channel for me and for everyone who want to start in the space. Beautiful. Now, we had a conversation last week and we were talking for a while. We're probably going to collaborate soon also and work together, which is exciting. So once it's out, we will announce it. We have some pretty cool announcements to announce. So make sure to both subscribe and turn on notification for both of our channels or social media channels, Twitter, LinkedIn. Uh, but you always had interest in security, right? You did CDFs, you published the damn vulnerable DeFi solutions and Ethernet solution on your channel. So you're aware of smart contract security. You also mentioned that you did an audit, paid audit back then. But now you told me that you're a bit more shifted. You're shifting more towards security. Could you tell the viewers, like, why did you decide to shift and focus more on security? And what are your plans?
Yeah. Okay, so in my previous job, I would look at a lot of smart contracts just for research and just to see how other people do what I wanted to do. And doing so, you spend a lot of time looking at smart contract, and sometimes I would find bugs, and then I would report it to Immunify. And now, I think it's just like this is what I also do in my free time as well. So this is something that I really enjoy. So I want to proceed this path further. So yeah, that's why I wanted to shift towards security.
Beautiful. I love listening to your answer because every answer is like you're driven by your interest and your fun. If there is something that you like doing, you just do it. If you want to learn about a protocol, you want to make a video, if it's fun, most people, they are driven by results or by money, by amount of, by numbers. But it seems that you are more driven by fun and by interest, which is super cool. And this is a huge take, I think, from this interview. People can see that you get success when you do what you love, when you really enjoy what you do. And I have many friends and people that are reaching out to me. Oh, I want to be a dev like you. I want to be a security researcher like you. How do I learn cybersecurity? I want to make good salaries. It could be a motivation, but I think a stronger motivation to really succeed that will help you in your journey is to enjoy the process, to be curious. When you learn a new programming language, wow, how this works. Oh, it's so cool. I was able to do that. Or when you learn about smart contract security, be excited not from the parts or the audit contests or the bugs that are being found, but how it actually works, how fascinating reentrancy is, how fascinating this exploit was, And this is how your chances, in my opinion, to succeed are much higher. So this is my tip to all my friends that are asking me, can I become a developer in like 3 months? I tell them, yes, you do, but you need to sit on your ass and you won't be able to do it if you don't really enjoy it and you don't have motivation really to learn new things and to trigger your brain to learn new stuff. So this should be your motivation, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, but I do want to say that money is also important. I got to pay the bills to keep a roof over my head. So yeah, don't go all in if you think it's not gonna pay you money in the long run. Try to find something that's fun, but also sustainable in the long run.
Exactly. So you completed me. You balanced what I said. So it should be a balance, right? Obviously, you need to pay your bills, and we survive with money in this world, right? Money actually became kind of like the god of this world. Everything costs money. Everyone is talking about money. Unfortunately, people forgot that there are things that are more important than money. And this is another spiritual talk about humanity and how we treat money. But it's important to have the balance and don't go pursue something that is out there. Don't go and learn truffle or something like, I don't know, maybe people still use truffle, but don't go and learn like old technologies and, try to be smart about it. So if you want to be in development, okay, try to pick niches that you might have less competition, right? For example, Cairo. You don't have that many Cairo developers or Rust. smart contract programming. In general, I think if you choose Web3 development and smart contract programming, you're already in like a smaller pool of people that know what it is and how to write smart contracts and how blockchain works. So you're already doing good because there is less people that know how to write Solidity code rather than people who know how to write JavaScript and React or Python. So it's already, you're reducing your competition in the market. But even if you go to more narrow niches like Rust smart contracts or Cairo smart contracts, this is called being smart about picking your skills that you want to master and study based on the competition in the market, based on the salaries. But don't forget the fun. Don't forget to enjoy the process. And don't be focused only on the numbers. So, whoa, I want to get a salary. I want to get a job. Enjoy the process, create value, maybe create a YouTube channel, articles, Twitter, social presence. This would be our, I guess, combined tip of how to get a career as a smart contract developer or security researcher.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. And talking about people who want to get started, so there's so many resources, but one of my favorite one is actually your website. So you have your YouTube channel, but you also have your website where people can sign up and then they can do different exercises on a completely new isolated environment that is built in the website, something like crypto zombies vibe, right? So can you tell us a bit about this website, what inspired you to create it, what it is and how it helps people to learn smart contract programming?
Sure. So have you ever used a website called LeetCode or algoexpert.com?
No, but I will definitely check it out after the video. So LeetCode.
I'll just tell you what it is. It's you write the code, and then there's a problem. It asks you to solve an algorithm. You write the code, submit the code. The server will execute the code and some tests to check that your code is correct. This is what my website does. You write Solidity or Viper code, and then I'll run some tests on the back end to check your code's correctness. I built this website. First, I was making videos on YouTube, and then I got feedback from viewers saying that they wanted some kind of challenge. So that's when I decided to create the website.
Beautiful. I love your website. It's amazing. It's basically completing the videos because I believe the best learning experience for people is to do things by their own. Because if they just listen to you and see you coding, it's not enough. It's not going to be really tattooed in their brain. And I believe that your website is the perfect combination with your videos because you break down concepts, you show how you write code, and then they can actually go to your smart contract programming website and really tattoo this information into the brain. And for me, it's like crypto zombies, but a bit more advanced because you have their security concepts and you have DeFi protocols. So it's super useful, and I highly recommend anyone that is watching this interview or watching your videos to check this website out. I really love it. Everything is so simple, easy to follow, fun way to solve those exercises and learn. And it's actually very similar to what guided me in the smart contract hacking course, because I think the most important thing that it will be practical, that people will do exercises, challenges, will try things for themselves. That's why also the smart contract hacking course is super practical. You tried it, right? So there is a lecture and then there are exercises. So this is a great way to learn, and it's super cool. And I assume that it's like a lot of work to build such website. Can you tell us a bit like the work behind the scenes, what it took for you to create this product?
Sure. I think I launched it maybe 2 years ago. And then I think on average, I will spend about 2 hours in the morning to improve the website. The website's infrastructure is user interface is Next.js with React and TypeScript. Backend, I run a couple servers, and it's a mix of Node.js servers and Rust Actix web server and MongoDB and Redis. For the contents, It's mostly I start off by making YouTube contents. And if I feel like I can make a challenge out of it, then I would create the challenge and then add the challenge to the website.
Nice. And does it take you a lot of time to create those challenges? Or if you already make the video, so it's kind of like, doesn't take too much time?
Making the video and the contents, that's the part that takes the longest time. Creating the challenge, it's really easy. You just write the code and then write some tests and then write some tasks for the challenge.
Nice.
Probably
nice. Interesting.
Take maybe like 1 day to do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, super cool. So you remind me myself because you also have knowledge in like creating the whole product, from the database to the web server to the backend to the front end. And it's super cool that you have so much knowledge both in web development, in infrastructure and IT, and also in blockchain. So it's like you're a very talented and experienced developer. And I believe that every company that will hire you will be happy. But it seems that you are now going to shift to security, right? So you want to explore like more auditing contests and bug bounties. So can you tell us a bit about your plans for the future and like how do you see, what are your goals for your career?
Well, I don't know if it's gonna work out, but probably try to get like maybe like a part-time job as a security engineer and then do bug bounties and contests. I think that's where I enjoy the most, and I think that's where I learn the most, and that's where I'll be able to create a lot of useful contents for the YouTube and Twitter audience as well.
Amazing. So you're planning to participate in some auditing contest, bug bounty, and explore more in-depth security. Cool. Now, if you will get an offer of like a full-time job of a security researcher, this is something that you will consider?
Yeah, definitely.
And what about like development jobs, like a developer? If like a DeFi protocol comes to you and tells you, hey, we want you to join the team.
It depends on the company. If the company doesn't look like it's gonna, if the idea doesn't look good, if the company doesn't look like it's gonna last a long time, then I don't think there's any point in spending your time. So you want to feel,
makes sense. You want to feel like you contribute actually to the ecosystem and you're doing something good, and also you enjoy the process. Okay, so right now you're open for jobs. People can reach out to you. Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, he's available. He's single, guys. I'm not talking about women, but I'm talking about companies. So if you want to hire this amazing guy over here, both super skilled and humble, just reach out to him through Twitter or through YouTube. And we will also do something together. You know what? I will share it now. So we are planning to participate in an audit contest together. An upcoming contest in Code Arena. We will share it on our Twitter page and YouTube probably. And once we're done, we will do also a live stream and we'll show like what we found, how we approach the contest, and it will be awesome. So this is something that I'm truly looking forward to. It will be a lot of fun and a very nice learning experience. And if we'll enjoy it and it will work, maybe we'll do more in the future. So looking forward for that.
Yeah.
So Taz, thank you so much for basically investing your time and being here and sharing all your journey and your background and your skills and super interesting stories here with the audience. I really enjoyed this conversation and I'm sure that people also enjoyed it a lot. Any closing marks, anything you want to say for people who are watching us right now?
Yeah, I don't know. But thanks for having me. It was really fun to be on this channel.
Thank you so much.
I took your course, and if you're into, I learned a lot about security. So if you want to learn more about security, definitely take the course.
Thank you so much. I'm super happy that someone like you enjoyed it, because I mean, you're kind of my teacher because when I relearned Solidity in 2020, I watched a lot of your videos, and for me, it's like a great pleasure that you were able to learn something from my course. So for me, it's already a win. But I'm also standing behind this product. I invested a lot of time in it, and I know it's a good course. And I'm super excited talking with you, and also we will stay in touch and working together. So I think we have a click here, and it will be cool. So if people want to reach out to you, what is the best way? Through Twitter, through Discord, email?
Yeah, either Twitter, or if you go to my website, scroll down under contacts, there's all different ways of contacting me.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thank you. You too.